The drumming began at sunset, a deep, rhythmic pulse that thrummed not in the ears, but in the very bones of the royal homestead. For Nandi, a new Inhlizio, a heart of the king, it was a sound that promised life, celebration, the very essence of the Zulu nation's vitality. Yet, as she stood in the shadow of the great beehive hut that was to be her home, the drumming felt like a heartbeat without a body, a pulse searching for a life it could not find. She had been chosen from her village for her beauty, her unblemished skin, and the proud arch of her neck. It was the highest honor a girl could dream of. She would join the IsiGodlo, the king's household, and perhaps, if fate and the king willed it, bear a son who would one day be a chieftain. Her mother had wept with pride. Her father had presented a fat goat to the ancestors. But now, standing in the immense, silent complex of huts reserved for the king's women, Nandi felt a chill that had nothing to do with the evening air. The IsiGodlo was a city of women, hundreds of them, the most beautiful maidens from every corner of the kingdom. They moved through the labyrinthine pathways like graceful shadows, their voices a low murmur, their laughter rare and quickly stifled. They were tended by izinkel, young girls who fetched water and wood, their eyes wide with awe and a nervous anticipation of their own futures. Nandi was assigned to a senior wife, Mekabai, whose hut was fragrant with dried herbs and whose eyes held a deep, unsettling stillness. "You will learn our ways," Mekabai said, her voice a soft rustle like dry leaves. "You will learn to please the king, but first you must learn the silence of this place." The silence was the first mystery. In her village, life was a symphony. Children crying, dogs barking, women gossiping as they ground maize, men arguing over cattle. Here, there was only the whisper of feet on packed earth, the sigh of the wind through the tall grass palisade, and at night, the ever-present hollow drumming. The king, Shaka, was a name spoken with a mixture of fervent love and primal fear. He was the conqueror, the architect of a nation, a warrior king who had forged a mighty people from scattered clans. He was also a man who visited the IsiGodlo often, yet whose visits left a strange, sorrowful emptiness in their wake. Nandi's first sight of him was during a umkosi, a festival. He was a figure of immense power, towering above his warriors, his muscular body oiled and gleaming, a cascade of feathers and fur upon his head. His eyes, however, were not those of a triumphant king. They were dark, restless pools that swept over his people, his warriors, and finally, his women, with an intensity that was almost painful to witness. They were eyes that searched but never seemed to find. That night, she was summoned, led by two izinsel, to the great royal hut. Her heart hammered against her ribs.